All right, I'm getting ready to play my theme song. So what I do is welcome everybody, all my peeps out there to Social D Theater. This is Hassan El-Amin and friends, and I am blessed this morning to have not only a dear friend, a dear brother, but an incredible artist. He's an award-winning choreographer, director, writer, and his name is Patdro Harris. And I just want to say welcome, brother. How are you?
Man, I am great, man. It's so good to be a part of what you're doing, man. I'm always proud to know you and what you're doing. It's such a wonderful artist yourself, man. But talk about Aaliyah, I know when she was like an arm baby.
Exactly. Well, you actually know her before she was even born.
Absolutely.
That's how far we go back.
Yeah.
But I was even trying to think in terms of when we first met. It had to be early 90s.
Early 90s, yeah. It definitely had to be early 90s.
Yeah.
Was Oregon Shakespeare Festival first?
It might have been Oregon Shakespeare before the Alliance Theater, right?
Yeah, right. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because initially, when I first met you, you were as a choreographer. You know what I mean? So as a choreographer, I've
Right.
never had the pleasure of working with you as a director, but I have seen your work and I've been incredibly blown away.
You know what? In college, I had a touring theater company, right? I went to Alabama State University. I had a touring theater company called POP, P-O-P Pop. No matter what we do or who we are just plain old people. So I had theater and music in school. I did not have dance.
Oh, you didn't have dance?
No, I had to graduate, get out of school, and then get dance in the element. So when I got dancing element, everybody said, "Hey, you this dancer, you this choreographer." I said, "I am, but I got these things I want to put with it." I initially want to put all those things together, which I'm doing now.
Okay.
I've always been the reason my choreography worked so well with Kenny and different people because I understood it from the actor's point of view. So it always made sense. I had moves, but the character always kind of guided what the steps were going to be, and what the actor brought to the mix always kind of make it a little bit more organic. But I always approached it from the character's perspective, so that I already knew that, but I just couldn't have that title yet. But I already understood it that way. But it made sense.
See, that's interesting because you are a Broadway award-winning director. I mean, choreographer, as
Yeah.
a choreographer. And I didn't know it was that way. I thought you started as a choreographer, but really it's the other way around.
It's the other way around. Yes, I was trying to get that. I was trying to get that. Nobody told you as an adult when you come out and do something. Thank God I could do it well. You know that they call you that. I was like, yeah, but I told this company I was with the Barbara Sullivan's Atlanta Dance Theater, and I said I want to do that for 10 years. So I really get that under my belt. Went to New York a couple of years. In between that, got a chance to choreograph Stevie Wonder's tours and a couple of things like that. But I said, okay, that's solid. Now I'll put all of these elements together.
Okay.
And God has really blessed me to be able to do that. So I say God has done some wonderful things, Hassan, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Amen. Amen. Well, let me ask you this. When this coronavirus hit, as it did, and shut everybody down, where were you? First of all, how's the family? Everybody good?
Everybody's good. My wife is out right now. They have doing Easter service. She works for two churches, and they're recording one service, and they do a live stream for that. So like three of them get together and rehearse the parts and make sure with their social distancing and all the accoutrements that we need to have, whatever. So she does that, and then she'll pick up the groceries, and I'll come out and get them out the trunk and clean them and wash them down. And we got all of our system going on, but everybody's doing well. Everybody's doing well.
Good. Yeah, I know you were one of the first individuals I saw that I really knew on Facebook who was covered up. You had mask, everything on your face.
Yeah, because I had just traveled. I was in Phoenix working on a show at the Black Theater Troupe directing it's just a musical, and then it was Monday. We just had our designer run, for those who are not artists, but we put everything together so all the lighting, costume, set, and props, and everybody can come and see what the play is about. So we just finished that. I called my wife. We had food for 2 weeks. She was comfortable. She was great. We had a prayer. We talked about God created us and baptized us for this particular time. So we were cool. Now I got a couple of partners here who kind of check on my wife when I'm away. If something happens, like a squirrel gets in the house or something, whatever. So I was talking to one of them, Kufanya, and he said, "Hey man," said, "Well, that's great. What if this thing lasts longer than it's supposed to be? What if people come and start knocking on the door? You don't want her to have to answer that knock by herself." I said, "Woo," on the plane. So that's why I had to get on the plane, but it took like an entire day for me to get that flight. Even though I was 2 weeks early on it, but the company took them from 11 that morning till about 7 that night. And then I flew, which was really interesting. I guess I can't quote what the people said behind me, but going through the TSA, they didn't want you to take anything out of your bag.
Wow.
Right. And I was like, oh, that's different. That's different. So then when somebody else says some really choice words behind it, they don't want you to take out your bag while you're traveling. You know?
Right.
So that was funny. So that was good. It was odd getting home and wiping down everything and having the mask on, and people said all the masks were gone. So I had to use a bandana. Somebody said, put a coffee filter in there. That'll be enough to hold everything. You change that out. I was like, okay, I'll try that, you know. I was just trying to get home. Got home, tell my wife have the lifestyle outside. So we sprayed all my bags before I brought them in and did whatever. I let her go inside. I wiped down the car, and then I got inside, dropped those clothes, put those in the bag, jumped in the shower, and we're just glad to be here. So it was, because unknowing, you know what it is. You don't want to bring anything home to your family, you know. So that was pretty interesting and exciting, but God blessing, and we all good.
Amen. Glad to hear that. So then, brother, with that, leaving the theater, so what have you been doing in the interim to keep yourself busy, active, and creative?
Well, in the interim, I have a lot of projects I'm working on. Like I should be directing a show here now called Cotton Patch Gospel, a theatrical outfit here in Atlanta. And that's been delayed, canceled, something. I don't know what that is in the mix, in the atmosphere right now.
Right.
Then I should be doing, there's already been canceled, a next show in Houston starting in May. So I'm trying to take care of all the business element of it first. Talk to my union, and the director, choreographers union, and see what's the thing about unemployment and how do we do that from the PUA, you know, pandemic, unemployment assistance. So trying to get all that together. But creatively, I'm working on a project, a documentary about Pete and Spike, 40 years of marching band influence. Nice. Showing how the marching band kind of influenced my entire career. And Spike, the other guy, he's a percussionist. He played with James Brown and U2 and Cameo and a whole bunch of other people. So we got that working on doing whatever. But also I got like if you can't see over here, this is the office part. The man cave is on the other side of this camera. But I got my papers kind of lined up on the floor that I have to work on. God has blessed me to get 4 shows for next season already. You know, so I don't know what those shows are going to turn into, but whatever. I'm not sure about those things. I can't mention them. They're kind of all over the country, and 2 of them are next year, and 2 of them are in the fall, kind of. So I said, thank you, God, for that. You know, so I've been trying to handle the business part of that. You know, make myself, you know, think about and read the scripts and think about that and do that kind of stuff and keep yourself occupied. But also, I decided to do a class. I did like a movement class online for people who wanted to join into that, and that turned out to really be a blessing. I had my own original music from my own video projects that I've done in the past. Mm-hmm. So I owned all the rights to that, and I just offered to, and I made it more personal friendly, user friendly, as I would say, and our world actor friendly. So something that everybody can do versus a dance full out thing. Tombe Pabre Glissade Assemblée. I did not do that, but I did something everybody could reach and use. And man, it turned out to be really wonderful. There's a guy in Houston I work with, and he had a friend of his to be in the hospital, and she had been diagnosed with COVID-19, and they tell her that she had to move, which one of the things I'm learning with the virus, it's not a sit-down virus, it's a get up and move virus. I've learned through my research and stuff.
Yes.
And he wanted to play some of the music so they could FaceTime and move together. He thought the music was really interesting and such a blessing. So if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have been able to bless them that way. So
they were using the movement really as therapy to combat the COVID-19.
Right. So that was really wonderful. That was great. And it was just insightful, you know, no idea at all. I'm just trying to do something to keep people moving who I know, and different people around the country just chimed in, and who does not work with me and not move. I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to work it out. I'm going to do part of it. I got you, baby. I got you. You know, that was all good. So it was just a blessing to connect with people that way. And that was my first big live Facebook, something like that, you know, so I didn't know how to do that, but it worked out really well. And I was just pleased. So I'm doing that and just connecting with people, calling people that I haven't connected with. I have some cousins who live in Seattle whom I've never met. But I sent out you get my Sunday message. Exactly. So I sent out a Sunday message. So my older cousin, who actually helped to name me, connected me with them. So they actually were supposed to come to Atlanta this April, but of course that's not going to happen now.
Right.
But so I kind of connect with them. I'm connected with family members that I haven't had the time to connect with. And I don't know if at the top of the year, I lost my father. And
Yes, I'm sorry for that loss.
so just trying to connect with more family members and people, like some people I don't even know. I know their first name, but I don't know their last name. If I saw the kids on the street, I wouldn't know them. We had a lot of people in our family, you know.
Yes, yes.
So I'm using that time to connect with people. Me and my wife, she put out all the games, the cards, the Yahtzee, the Scrabble. I won't play in Scrabble because I would never win that with her because she's super smart, you know. Scrabble out for me, you know.
Exactly.
Oh, that's Scrabble. So we got all this stuff. And we have shows even when we are not together, we pick shows that we watch on Netflix or something. And we'll watch them at the same time, have our little date time together. So we just kind of solidify that when we come home, we find something we like that she can talk through and I can talk to, and we can laugh at it. And she has the best commentary. So that's really great. So we get a chance to love on each other that way and just connect with different people and stuff and what we can do inventive and creatively about connecting with our friends and family.
You know, it's interesting, man, that this COVID-19 in a way is causing some benefit that we really didn't anticipate from being in this shutdown, stay home. Because like you say, there's family members that I haven't communicated with probably ever in my life that now I'm in touch with through technology. You know, here you and I are on Zoom. We got some 20, almost 30 years of a relationship here.
Wow.
You know, and I think that, and I know people can see that. You know, one of the things that touches me deeply about you is not only the fact that you're incredibly talented and creative, but you have a heart of gold, that you are spiritually connected, and the things that you send out are moving people. It's more about humanity and mankind and how you can sow into people's life in a positive way. And that's something that's always touched me deeply about you. It's like some people talk about being spiritual. It's like God created you as one of his extensions of spirit, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, man, I thank you for that, man. When I was, my mom passed right before my first professional job. And I didn't realize that a major component of love was support. I didn't realize that. I'm 21. I did not know that. And then doing that Christmas, I sent out things to my family, and nobody kind of reached back at that moment because I'm being an artist now. I have a job. You can get a job doing something else. But why are you being this artist thing that doesn't pay money, and you don't know how you're gonna eat and do whatever? But that was the last thing me and my mother talked about. So it just hurt me dearly that I didn't get that support. So in return, I think Nancy Reagan had to think about drugs. Just say no.
Just say no.
I don't have something to say yes to.
Mm.
You got to put something. You got to get something to fill in that void. So my feeling in that void is to give back to everybody else and to remember, like people's birthday. Like your birthday is in June, so I try to remember the people's birthday so I can call them up and say something, make them feel just special about themselves. Because I needed that support when I did not get it. So instead of waddling in that or being bitter about it, I decided to turn it into something good. So when I send out my Sunday message, that's actually in honor of my mom. To remind me to stay connected. What we do can never be more important than who we are.
Yes. So when he's talking about his Sunday message, every Sunday, Patdro will send out a message. I guess it goes across the world to everybody where he's sowing positivity into your life. And that's every Sunday this brother is reaching out to everyone. So it's truly amazing. I have to say, though, there is one time when it's the insight that you have in seeing production. And now I guess it's coming from what I'm understanding is as an actor as to a choreographer. But we were doing the Colored Museum. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
Because we did it twice together. But we were in Atlanta at the Alliance, and I was doing Miss Raj.
Mm-hmm.
And you gave me this comment talking about the movement was great and everything. But you said something that just triggered the character to be the fullness that it could be. And you probably don't remember, but it has stayed with me all that time. You said to me, I do not see that she knows she's beautiful. And it was like, bam! Right. That was it for me. And it goes back to what I'm talking about, to the depths of your spirituality and how you connect to people. Because you connected to me in a way that just made it like, oh, that was it. All the lights turned on for me in that moment. In that moment, it's like, I got it. I got it.
One thing about you, you're honest as an actor. I mean, you lay it all out with it. What you see is what you get. I like that. I think that's not always right or good, but that's perfect. That makes it perfect because you put it out there. We can't it's like going to the doctor. If you don't tell them actually what's wrong, they can't give you the proper diagnosis, you know. So I like that about that. And I believe when you're playing something that's different from you, that's odd or doing whatever, the first thing you do, you got to find the things that you like about that person. If you don't find out what you like, you're always playing a caricature. So you got to find something that lets her think that I'm wonderful, that I'm great, that I'm fabulous. And it's an inside versus out. I believe that people do art and not art doing people.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to look and see what the void is inside of you. As I sit there and watch you as an actor, I say, okay, he's not here. He's missing that same little connections in these parts. Or that's a thought pattern that he's missing. Because the technique, you got the skill, you got the diction, you know your ionic pentameter, you got all your things that that drop in and make sense. But the thing that makes it uniquely you is you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You have to find a way. You have to find. I asked God just to give me a way to tap into. How did I tap into that person? How did I get that into that person? But I always sit back when I was working. When I wasn't the director, I was working. I was learning. When I'm sitting, behind Kenny Lee and I signed Marsha Jackson or Tom Jones or all those people. I would sit there. I was thinking like, okay, what would I do in this process? Even when I got Stevie Wonder's tour, I wasn't the choreographer on the first tour, but I sat back and said, well, if I was, this is what I would do. But I was never disrespectful to you young people who are listening. Just because I had ambition, my ambition also made me be respectful. Just because I had knowledge and I thought that I could do it better, the position was respectful more. I got more jobs because I was respectful and called back on time than I was talented the first part of my career.
Wow, that's powerful. Let me ask you this: in that working with those individuals, directors, Kenny Leon, and everything, when did you make the decision that now it's my time to really not be the assistant or the choreographer on a project, but I can be the choreographer and the director on my own individual projects at this time? When was the time when you felt it's time for you to take that leap?
Well, I had a plan when I left college. I was going to dance for 10 years. And I did that. That was from, for 10 years straight, I got out. I'm going to get dance as much as I can, any kind of dance I could do. I did a documentary called Dance Black America. I danced with Chuck Davis. You guys can look up that, and that's really good. I got Stevie Wonder's tour, all in that thing. But at the end of those 10 years, the 9th year, I told them, I said, hey, I'm going to leave the company. And they said, why are you going to leave the company? I'm the principal male dancer of that part. I'm doing really well. I got some plie de releve inside of me. And I decided I want to do that. So after that, I want to be this director. People say, oh, you're gonna be the director, aren't you scared? I'm like, no, this is what I was for. So it was a big fight, especially as a person of color. Once you do one thing well, I didn't realize, like, if I do two things, some people compare it and make it sense, oh, you better than me because you think you do both of these things. I was like, no, it's not about you, it's just my gift. So it's always been my plan. But you have to wait for people to give you jobs if you don't create them yourself. I had little projects that I directed all the way through. Do whatever. My last show in college, I did a show called Trying to Make It with 3 artists trying to go to New York and be a part of this company. One was a singer, one was a dancer, one was an actor. And we all tried to go to New York. But when we got there, we needed to be not only singer, dancer, or we had to be singer, dancer, and an actor.
Triple threat.
Right, triple threat. Right. So we had to go through all that process. So I've always had the aspirations to be director. So that's always been inside. It didn't go any place. It was just waiting to come out, but it always influenced my choreography, influenced my costume choices, influenced like my artistic choices. Always was there, just influencing everything. But now it just came to fruition. And most directors that have worked with me as a choreographer has hired me as directors, like Kenny or Tim Bond. The same process of those people like that. They say, oh, because it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I have to say also, I saw a production of yours of Crown at the San Diego Rep, and I was just blown away. I was blown away by the direction. I was blown away by the music, by the movement. I mean, the whole piece together. And I was like, wow, this brother is incredible. Already knew he was a great choreographer. Now he's a great director too. And now I'm finding out that all along it was the other way around, and it was all by design. So that's a great thing. That's a great thing. Hey, brother, I love you, man. That's what you got to know first of all. I do. I love you, and I appreciate when I reached out to you, and you was like, for you, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, we had this COVID-19. It's got us all locked in, and this is my way of reaching out and letting people know that, hey, we still here. We're actors, we're artists, we're creative. And even in this sense of connection, we are still keeping what we do alive.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You have to realize, what what God's put in you, there's a way for it to get out someplace. You have to just think differently. And that's what I tell people. When people get older, sometimes they don't hire them not because they won't do different, but they won't allow themselves to think differently. So if the situation comes, what we do as artists, we problem solve. What makes me a good director, a good choreographer, a good writer is that you have the problem. You see the problem and then you solve it. What can you do to make this work? What supports you working this? What's the demand for what you have to say to people? What do you have to say? Who you gonna say it to? And what you want the results to be? Now you can't predict the results, but you can keep your intentions pure. So you have to find a way. If I'm in this situation and God has me here, it has to be something I can do. So what am I supposed to do? Maybe I haven't thought about it before. Maybe it's a new something, whatever. Maybe I'm gonna reach out. Like when you call me up and say, "Can we do this?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's perfect. Let's do it today. Let's do it." But I didn't know that.
Right.
But I'm open to that. I've been saying this prayer for a while that says, God, I'm open to all the good that comes my way, financially, socially, artistically, spiritually, and personally. And when they call me, I am enough.
Well, that's
And that,
amen.
right. Right, and so I try to live in that vein that I'm open. So when it calls me, I'm enough, and even I'm calling, and we enough for my wife as well, and for my family as well, and for my you and you people, all my people who are around me. Just that you peoples are around me doing whatever. I collect those things like that. I try to make sure that when I have a job, I can hire somebody every job that I get. Years ago, this was my prayer. I said, God, I don't want to be the person that just has the jobs. I want the person that gives out the jobs as well. So you have to find a way. Now, this is no different. If time is time and you're here and truth is truth, it's the same. You just got to, I said, whenever there's a crisis, there's two major components. There's danger and there's opportunity. You have to be calm enough to be able to see the difference, because there's always, through your whole life, when a big job comes up, there's always two things you have to decide. Do I leave my family here? Do I move to this location? There's a choice, but you have to be calm enough to be able to make the decision. So when it comes up, I'm accustomed to looking at dangerous things and going like, okay, what do I do? Okay, my wife is good, we're great, but something outside may happen. So I need to get home, stay calm enough to get there. So I tell every artist that you're doing stuff, right, figure out what you can do. Whatever those projects that you have back up on the shelf, back up on these shelves behind, right? Figure out those projects, connect with people, write, or communicate, FaceTime, Zoom time, whatever you need to do, and put something out there, and only put out what you can afford to put out from the spirit. So I can't put it out because someone's going to copy what I'm going to do, and I'm going to start. I'm like, hey, I'm let it go. It's bigger than, it's about life and death. If I can encourage you a little bit, hey, copy it if you want to, that. Don't steal my stuff, but,
Right.
but copy it. I mean, share it. It's given, God never gives me anything bad, so I promise never to give it bad. I'm not going to try to hoard it and hold on to it. I'm going to put it out there, and if it helps somebody, that's a blessing. It'll come back to you that way. The good karma will come back to you, the good energy, the spirit, the Lord, however you see it, however you interpret your light for those people who are listening. But be intentional about doing something good and purposeful for people's lives.
Well, brother, I thank you. I thank you for the seed that you've sown into my life. I thank you for being on Social D Theater with Hassan, and you are definitely one of my friends.
Oh, man, it's time to go already? It's time to go.